So my name is Hans, and I am one of the co-founders of Termageddon. Termageddon is an auto-updating website policies generator built for web designers and their clients. So website policies help users understand what your website collects in terms of personal information, what you do with that information. When it all comes down to it, website policies help you comply with laws and limit your liability. So as a web designer, you may be thinking, oh, I don't need to tell my clients about website policies because I'm a web designer, I'm not their attorney. And you are absolutely accurate in that assumption. With that being said, chances are you probably have a little bit more insight into trends in your industry more than your client does. And telling your clients that they may be required to have website policies is not a hurtful thing, that's a helpful thing. And you don't have to get a law degree to have that discussion. By just telling clients, I think website policies are important, you're going to be putting a seed in their brain which will help them go figure out, what can they do to comply with laws with the website you just built them. So a privacy policy explains to users, website visitors, what information your website collects, what you do with that information, who you may share it with, but high level, it's really about what information you're collecting and what you're doing with it. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I only collect names and emails on my contact form. I don't even share that data. Contact forms typically trigger an email that gets sent to the website owner's email inbox. So that's not only a good example of collecting things like names and emails, that's a great example of also sharing that data with your email service provider. The specific disclosures one needs to make within a privacy policy is unfortunately based on the laws that apply to you. But each and every privacy law has its own unique disclosure requirements. And that's I think a lot of people don't realize that. The California Consumer Privacy Act is very different than GDPR. So if you're saying, oh, well, GDPR is the most stringent privacy law, therefore I'm going to follow that law, you're going to be missing the little disclosures that are in each of these additional privacy laws. It is extremely important to understand that you not only have to provide a privacy policy that provides the exact disclosures you're currently required to make, but you also have to have a strategy in place to go and keep those privacy policies up to date with new disclosures as new laws go into effect and existing laws get amended. A terms of service, aka terms and conditions, they also help limit your liability as a website owner. And I like a terms of service for virtually any website in this day and age because you can have little disclosures in there that say things like, hey, we offer links to third-party websites. We're not responsible when you click on one of those links. So if you click on that link and that site gets hacked and you lose all your data, you can't come back and sue us. That little disclosure can help limit your liability, and that's just one of many examples of how a terms of service can help reduce your chances of being fined or sued. So a disclaimer is an additional set of disclosures that help further limit your liability. So they are popular for businesses that have websites that could be offering information that could be seen as legal advice, offering information that could be seen as health advice or fitness tips. It's for websites that offer affiliate links. It's for websites that offer ads on their website. Maybe you have like a blog where you display third-party ads. It's also valuable if you sell health products. So a disclaimer will make those extra disclosures that help further limit your liability. So a cookie policy explains to users the cookies you use on your website. So a cookie is a small packet of data that gets put onto a browser that helps ensure that users have a good experience. Little things like remembering your language settings or remembering that you're logged into the website. Cookies are a very okay thing to have on a website. It's just a matter of now you need to find out what laws apply to you because some privacy laws do require you to provide a cookie policy that explains to users what are the essential cookies that you use on your browser or on the website to ensure the website functions correctly, what functional cookies you use where, to see little snippets of functionality on the website, ensuring they load properly, and then what are really marketing cookies that really aren't essential to the operations of the website, but are there to help you, the website owner, understand how people use your website better. So web developers have really two options. You can custom build a cookie policy and consent solution where you custom control those things and you make your own banner. That being said, most web designers, I like to think of them as like assemblers of third-party technologies, which helps drive down the cost for their clients. So I'm speaking to you as someone who has absolutely used to copy and paste privacy policies for clients. I would go to a competitor website per my client's request, like, hey, will you just take it from this client website? And as time has gone on, privacy has become a bigger deal. And like copying and pasting legal documents for your clients is not something I would ever recommend as a long-term strategy for web agencies. Rather, I would recommend that you tell your clients about the benefits of hiring an attorney to draft those policies, or offer a more cost-effective alternative like a privacy policy generator. Being married to a privacy attorney, I've come to realize, turns out attorneys are people too. They're normal people, all that. But there are some things I would recommend. Number one, ask upfront what their pricing is. Ask them how they generate privacy policies. And if they aren't talking about, first we have to find out what laws apply to you, that should be a red flag, because maybe they don't quite understand that privacy laws apply to businesses regardless of where the business is located, because privacy laws protect people's information. Another great question to ask an attorney is, what is your strategy to keep up to date with new privacy laws and amendments to existing privacy laws? So at the time of this recording, there are several dozen privacy bills in America alone. And if they're not talking about that, and you're collecting data from people in America, for example, in the United States, that should also be a red flag to you. Maybe this isn't the right attorney to possibly work with. And a great resource to consider is IAPP.org. That's the International Association of Privacy Professionals, and they offer a directory where you can see attorneys, hopefully in your area, that can service you from a legal standpoint as it relates to website policies. So if you're a web designer, I would first and foremost see, what generators out there have like an agency partner program, because as an agency, you don't want to ever be held responsible for your client's website policies. I also think ensuring that the generator is actually like run or founded, or there's some sort of privacy attorney involved with the business. I think there's a lot of generators out there that are, really well designed and doing interesting things, but they don't seem to have like legal in-house, and in maybe keeping an eye out to ensure that there's a proper privacy attorney working within the generator company, I think would be an excellent vetting mechanism. When it comes down to it, the web design industry is getting regulated. We're seeing it with accessibility, and now we're seeing it with privacy. There will be a fork in the road that agency owners will have to decide. Do you want to embrace this stuff, or do you want to keep pretending it doesn't exist and try to hide it under the rug? My bet is that the agencies that do embrace it are going to be more successful, they're going to build more trust with their clients, and they're going to be successful for the long term. So my final recommendation is, there are companies out there that are out there to help agencies talk about this stuff and have them embrace the conversation of the importance of website policies rather than hide from it. And I would recommend now's a good time to get in front of it. This is still, in a lot of ways, a proactive time period rather than being a reactive time period a few years from now.